The federal trial involving music producer and entrepreneur Sean Diddy Combs entered its second week, with jurors returning to the courtroom to hear additional witness testimony. The case involves allegations of sex trafficking and related charges. One of the notable developments this week was the testimony from multiple individuals who had previously worked with or around Combs. These witnesses provided detailed accounts of events and behaviors that prosecutors argue are relevant to establishing the nature of the alleged criminal enterprise. Witnesses described private gatherings, often referred to as freak-offs. These events reportedly included the use of controlled substances, with specific references to ecstasy pills shaped like miniatures of political figures. Testimony also mentioned repeated patterns of intimate encounters, some of which the prosecution claims were not consensual. Musician Kid Cudi was mentioned during the testimony, with references to a past relationship with Cassie Ventura. Statements in court suggested that there may have been an incident involving Kid Cudi and Combs allegedly linked to this relationship. Prosecutors emphasized this to support a pattern of alleged controlling behavior. Cassie Ventura's mother also testified in support of her daughter's prior public statements, which included allegations of emotional and physical abuse. The testimony aimed to corroborate earlier claims and support the prosecution's timeline of events. Additionally, Combs' former assistants testified about how events were organized and how logistics for these gatherings were handled. They detailed what was involved in the planning and execution of these parties, including who attended, how they were funded, and the environments in which they took place. A key moment in the week came when prosecutors presented photographs reportedly taken during a federal raid on Combs' Miami residence. These images included firearms, personal items, and materials often associated with intimate activity. Homeland Security personnel also testified regarding the context of the photographs and the significance of certain objects found in close proximity. The prosecution emphasized that the arrangement of these items, such as placing firearms near items typically associated with sexual activity, was important in illustrating the overall environment and alleged coercive dynamics. This, they argued, helped support claims that some individuals may have been compelled into non-consensual activity under duress or fear. Another legal angle discussed was the importance of establishing a federal connection. Prosecutors are working to demonstrate that activities and individuals involved in the case cross state lines. Doing so provides a legal justification for federal jurisdiction and the basis for several of the more serious charges. Moving forward, the court expects to hear from more individuals who had professional ties to Combs. These include people involved in event planning, business operations, and other staff who may provide additional context on how the events were structured and what occurred behind the scenes. The defense, meanwhile, continues to focus on challenging the credibility of witnesses and the nature of the evidence. They maintain that activities described in court were consensual and that no crimes were committed. As the trial progresses, both sides are expected to introduce additional documentation and digital evidence, including communications and financial records. The goal is to provide further clarity on the relationships and transactions that may have taken place. The court is expected to resume proceedings tomorrow, with more witness testimony scheduled. Legal analysts predict the trial may continue for several more weeks before a final verdict is reached. This concludes a summary of developments from week 2 of the Sean Combs federal trial.